Hi everyone, how's everyone doing here today? As you can see, I'm right here at the U.S. Capitol. I'm about to do a tour or something, and today I wanted to talk briefly about January 6th, which I mentioned before in a previous video. And so far there's been no determination as far as what the DOJ is going to do. I really hope he starts making some serious arrests, because so far he's primarily just rounded up a bunch of pawns. You know, the insurrectionists themselves, these domestic terrorists. But he hasn't gone for any of the bigger players as of yet, and I'm hoping he will soon. I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but regardless of how that plans out, here's a simple reality about January 6th. And I'm talking about the voters here, whether Democrat or Republican. If you're somebody who is still making excuses for January 6th, trying to brush it off like, oh, it wasn't that big deal, or this and that, peaceful protests and all that other stuff, I got news for you. You are on the wrong side of things, okay? Because that is neither patriotic, it's not the American way, it's going against all our principles of democracy. So let's think back a moment of some of the things that we've heard, like I said, from voters. That, well, they said it was a peaceful protest. No, it wasn't. Maybe not every single one of those insurrectionists were being violent, but they were a lot of them were assaulting police officers. They brought weapons, some had zip ties, and they were smashing windows, and they forced their way in. Now, some say, well, some of the Capitol Police opened the gates for them. That's true, but, forcing your way in later, that doesn't make it okay. And some would say, oh, well, I just walked around in there. I didn't do anything wrong. You shouldn't have been in there to begin with, okay? You had no business being there. You weren't going there as a tourist or a visitor. You were going there because a grifter, a con man, told you a lie, you bought it, and then he said, we're going to storm the Capitol and fight like hell. And some say, well, he did say, we're going to march peacefully. True. That's a very tiny asterisk in that whole statement, because for the most part, previous tweets, as we've seen in the January 6th hearings, proved that, he was looking for something, epic to happen on his behalf. He was looking to overthrow an election, okay? He lost fair and square, and then he lied about it, okay? There is no evidence to prove widespread voter fraud. If you're still believing that, you are as naive as can be. And I don't think there's any lesson that's going to cure you of your legendary ignorance. What else? It was Antifa, it was Black Lives Matter. No, it wasn't. That has been debunked time and time again. We've seen that in video things. There is no evidence to prove that. And again, that's just people looking to deflect blame, okay? You know who was there? White Trump supporters. I didn't see any people of color in any of the footage. I can go back and maybe you might find one or two, but the vast majority of that group were white Trump supporters. And they were domestic terrorists. They were looking there to steal the election and stop the certification of the Electoral College. Plain and simple. It was a tourist guide, it wasn't really that bad. Really. I've been on plenty of tour guides. At no time did I feel like I had to barricade myself in or, run for safety and hide, okay? That's a crock. And some have even, made excuses, again, like, they were Antifa posing as Trump supporters. No, they weren't. They were Trump supporters, okay? Again, you're just trying to make excuses for it. Some of the Capitol Police were posing with selfies. That's questionable, yes, but that doesn't excuse the behavior of the insurrectionists, okay? And, the police officers died as a result of it. Maybe they didn't die on that exact same day, and some are trying to split hairs on that. The one officer that died, he died sometime later of natural causes. I don't have the officer's name, but here's the thing. Some medical experts believe that was because of, that happened because of the trauma that he went through. Okay? I'm no doctor, but here's what I do know. Some of these people who are trying to lean on that excuse, if that police officer was your son, your brother, your father, a close friend of yours, or a loving relative, I don't think you would be stopping thinking like, it was natural causes, so we shouldn't blame the rioters. Bullshit. Okay? And like I said, one woman died, it shouldn't have been. And some of the politicians are more speaking on her behalf. She made a choice. She made a choice to go there and break the law. Okay? You break the law, you pay the price. Simple. it's tragedy that happened, and as if electing Trump would have solved any of our problems, it wouldn't have. But she bought into the con. She bought into this lie, okay? And a lot of the people that have been apprehended has saying they were there thinking they were marching on Trump's orders, that it was okay. Another BS excuse I hear is that, it's a federal building and our taxes pay for it, so it's okay for us to be in there. If you signed up for a tour like I did, sure, you're allowed to a point. That doesn't mean you can just stroll in there and go anywhere you want, whenever you feel like it. You know what our taxes also pay for? They pay for the police. They pay for hospitals. Do you go marching around in your local precinct whenever you feel like it? Or your local hospital whenever you feel like it? Just because, hey, your taxes pay for it? That is a lame-ass excuse, okay? That's not right. So, I could keep going on and on. I'm done with all the bullshit. But here's the question that it boils down to. You're either side on democracy, you're either trying to be a patriot, or you're on the side of the insurrectionists, that you're okay for following a grifter, a former TV star who knows nothing about governing, who wanted to run the country as an authoritarian, as a fascist. Yes, like I said before, I'm done sugarcoating that, okay? If he had it his way, if they marched in and stopped the electoral count, and by force left him in charge, killing more police officers, hanging Mike Pence, and killing who knows whom else, he would have no problem staying in president, and the people that did that would feel like, yeah, that's some kind of victory. No, it's not. That's not what our country is built on. Our foundation of America is built on a democracy. Free and fair elections, where anyone and everyone has the opportunity to vote, and should. And they should be able to vote freely. There shouldn't be voter restriction laws, which is as a result of this lie. This big lie that Trump told is what led to January 6th. It's what led to chaos, and it is a stain on our country. So if you're making excuses for it, then you are part of the problem. You are not part of the solution. You're not fighting for democracy. You're fighting for a fascist. That doesn't make you a patriot. That makes you sympathizing with domestic terrorists. That's what they were. Regardless of what state they're from, regardless of whether or not they felt they were doing the right thing or taking marching orders from a liar, they were breaking the law. And they don't give a damn about the Constitution, and neither does Trump. And you should. I care about the elections. I care about democracy. I care about the Constitution. So yeah, I keep bringing it up. I keep talking about it. And keep saying that now that the January 6 hearings are done, the DOJ should hold him and all the other ones involved accountable. And there are a lot more people than you think. If you think this was just some spur-of-the-moment incident, you're kidding yourself. So, what's it going to be? Do you want democracy? You want to be a patriot? Do you want to sympathize with domestic terrorists? That's the simple choice. You think about it. There's no gray area. There's no excusing this. It was wrong. And it's about time we just start calling out the people involved on it, whether they were the voters themselves or, the people in office that helped enable this, especially Trump, especially some of the members on Fox. And anyone in Congress who makes excuses for January 6th, tries to excuse it or say we need to move on, you don't say pretty much people on the right, and they shouldn't be in Congress either. They got no business being, trying to pass laws for us. They should have been voted out. I really hope they are held accountable, that they face some type of consequence for this, especially Trump. Because guess what? If he can do it once, he will definitely try again in 2024, whether or not he wins. That has yet to be seen. I don't know what's going to happen, but that's the bottom line. So let's fight for what's right. Let's not try and make excuses for January 6th. Let's fight for our democracy. Let's fight for our country and our freedom. Let's fight for our right to vote and support the leaders that we elect, that win the elections fair and square, that are doing the right thing. They can be Republicans. I've voted Republican in the past. But as of lately, the GOP, especially in the chaos that it's in now, just goes to show that's what happens when you let enough freaks into the circus tent. That is what you get. You get chaos. You get a circus. That's actually an insult to circuses. You know why? Because circuses serve a higher purpose. They're more they're also much better organized. They're there to entertain families and children. This GOP House is a total disaster. And don't think for 1 second they are going to somehow pass laws for the benefit of the working class people. They're not. They are only in it for themselves. some lowlifes, some Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, Jim Jordan, Matt Gaetz, Rick Scott, just to name a few. Let's do the right thing, okay? I really, really hope you understand, because it's important that you do. Thank you for watching.